What's up, everybody? This is your guy Adam, and we are in day 3 of the big worldwide event right now, 3 or 4, something like that. Just wanted to touch base a little bit with you. I am still practicing nonstop. Apparently, they're going to start doing some distance education stuff from the Paul Mitchell School. This is something they've never done before. Apparently, they've never closed the school for outbreaks, I guess, since that's not really a normal thing anymore. Um, this is going to get way worse before it gets way better. Believe me, I'm the last person in the world to expect there to be some sort of chaos, but just judging from how the world is going right now and how things are going, this is going to probably get bad. I don't think there's going to be a whole ton of deaths, but I do believe there's going to be a whole lot of sick people. So if we could just handle basic sanitation, wash your hands when you touch your nether regions, and just generally be conscientious of the people around you. Don't hoard stuff. Help your neighbors, help your friends. I mean, I give stuff away and I have nothing. So, by all means, please do it. It's only going to help us all. So, I'm not going to dwell on all that too much. Just do your research, man. Like, I get why it is worse than others. It touches on a whole lot of topics that can be related to anything from life to governmental policies to structures to policies within your workplaces, the salon, to blah, blah, blah. There's a million different ways that you can relate it. So I'm going to leave it pretty much at that. We'll touch on it from time to time as things start to progress or whatnot. I'm going to try and do at least one video a day, if not every other day, depending on how I'm feeling, and hopefully I don't have the thing and I'll be able to actually do things. So, on that note, I just wanted to touch on a couple things. So, first and foremost, you need to keep in mind that for the next 30 days, assuming you're not doing any education of any sort, distance education, I should say, and even if you are or not, whatever, you should be practicing something. If there is something that you want to change about yourself, be it pick up a hobby, pick up coin collecting, pick up, I don't know, bottle cap collecting, pick up, taking bird pictures, ornithology, I think that's the term. Regardless, pick it up, enjoy it, take some fun in it, learn something new, learn a language, learn to learn to talk to that neighbor that you've always meant to talk to, but you don't really think you like them. Go over and just say, hey, we may have had some stuff, but I uh, I just want to say, you seem like a nice guy, and I want to come introduce myself. It doesn't matter what it is, because over the next few months, because the likelihood of this stopping after 30 days is very, very slim. It's not that anything's going on in the hospitals as far as them being overrun with people asking for tests. The only tests that have any actual, as far as we know, concrete proof that you do or do not have the virus have literally just within the last day or so been released from the CDC. So, don't get your panties in an uproar when it comes to all that stuff. Trust me, if you have it, you'll probably know. And standing in a shopping or I can't think. It's not a symptom. Standing in line at a hospital because you have a sniffle does not mean you have the virus. It means go home and relax. And if your face is exploding after a week, then you can go to the hospital and wear a mask. But, just focus on your immune system. Focus on what's going on with you. If you feel unhealthy, then take extra steps. If you feel healthy, take extra steps. But, you don't have to put yourself in a boy in the bubble suit just to get around. So, again, we will leave it at that. I apologize for looking down. I'm trying to get into the scripting thing and I'm still learning. So, again, this is so organic from the beginning, from not knowing anything, even barely how to use a cell phone most of the time, to hopefully in months or a month or whatever, you guys will be able to see something really wonderful. And I want every single one of you out there to be with me when I do get into the salon and I do start making like something really big of myself and get to meet all the wonderful people that I get to meet and experience what it's all about, because there's so many jobs out there, there's so many careers that revolve around people. And I guarantee you, if you have any interest in just being around people, or just, making people feel good, making yourself feel good, that uh, is the business that you want to be in. So, all that being said, just a real quick recap on me. I haven't really gotten into this much before, because it is, I'm not ashamed of it, but it does, I don't want to say embarrasses me. Anybody that's been there could understand the word that I'm trying to come from. Um, for a long time, I was not sober. I dealt for a very long time with alcohol. I was an alcoholic. After that, it was very, very expensive illicit substances. After that, I went into the really, really hardcore stuff. I was taking, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in pills. And then after that, I went to the harder stuff. And, some of it was, a big percentage of it was a symptom of the overprescribing that was going on with the pain clinics and the doctor's offices, which is unfortunate, because I always have to wonder to myself, if that wasn't the case, would I have still gone down that road? And I don't think so. If so, not nearly as much. So I'm not blaming anybody but myself, but I made it out the other side, and I am so grateful to my beautiful fiance Melissa. She saved my life even when I didn't think there was one worth saving. I was full on ready to just be done with it, walk into the river with stones in my pocket, and just be done. And she brought me back to something wonderful, and I thank her for every single day. Um, I know I don't have a lot of subscribers right now, but if anybody out there has any questions or comments, or just, needs some direction on, who they can talk to, anything like that, I will be more than happy to answer them, and I will answer them without judgment, without anything. I've been there more times than most people can count. I've been through the bottom, and the up, and everything in between. I've died a few times. I've slept on the streets. I've wrecked, I don't know, 20 cars. Like, it's messed up, man. And if I can save or at least help one person not have to go through that, I would applaud them nonstop, and I will be their lifelong friend. So, just something to place below in the comments. I'm still linking stuff below, so if you do have any questions or anything, please just link it into the comments below, or leave a comment, and I will get back to you, I promise. So on top of that, I am starting my podcast. I recorded the little 1 minute promo. So hopefully within the next week or two, maybe less, I will have a podcast out. I hope I can get y'all to listen. Hope I can get anybody to listen at this point. I'm just hoping this thing will grow and grow. So please, please, please tell all your friends. Tell them what it's about. Tell them it's a journey from, like, one of those time lapse, getting younger to getting older thing, except you get to see somebody go through the entire school experience, especially at my age, which is strange to say the least. But it's a pretty unique experience. That's one thing I hear a lot of salon people say when it comes to making content. Oh, I wish I could have videotaped or whatever my journey through beauty school and getting into my first salon and shadowing and blah blah blah. Well, that's what I'm doing. I missed a couple of the first months, and I didn't get to really tape that, but pretty much from the halfway point on, I'm going to be filming in the school. I'm going to be doing interviews with the coaches and the teachers and the staff. Any questions about financial aid or anything like that, please leave them below in the comments, and I will make sure and get them answered for you and get them back to you. Okay? And that is the Paul Mitchell School in Las Vegas. So if you don't quite feel comfortable asking me or would like a little more in-depth answer, then by all means, just call Paul Mitchell School in Las Vegas and ask for the financial aid department. Easy peasy, you know. That's about it as far as I can see. There's some other little things here and there, but as far as I can see, I think that's the gist of the script. There's a whole lot more stuff, but I think I'm gonna cover it on another show. I do want to say one thing real quick. I am giving myself a bob challenge. I'm not cutting a bob on myself because I would look like a fucking maniac. But this young lady here, probably her hair is getting a little short, but I really should have got more doll heads for the apocalypse. I've got about 3 more doll heads, and I want to be able to cut the perfect bob, or at least as close to, by the time I leave. So I'm going to be watching a lot of tutorials. Any comments on the best way to do it, your helpful hints, anything. My goal is always to just do helpful hints. So please, by all means, send them in. So I'm going to do my real quick little helpful thing for the moment. Sorry if everybody can't see. I really want to focus on the doll head and not as much on my chest, because that isn't helping anybody. There we go. Okay. So, sorry. So something that's been, I've been having problems with, and I'm starting to understand more and more is, you hear people talk about head shape and what it means to your cut and how everything, how figuring out the haircut and the type of dimension that it's going to take because of that head shape. So I'm going to take you through just a quick little things that I've learned very, very recently. Most of this is from Matt over at Free Salon Education. He is amazing. He answers a ton of questions, and he touches on a lot of stuff that a lot of your beauty school people don't. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing artists, amazing cutters, all this stuff. Maybe it's just because they haven't thought of it in a long time, but yeah, it's something I'd like to think on. So I know a lot of you out there see, people putting like triangular parts across the occipital, usually around mid-occipital. So I'm not going to comb all this out of the way right now, but I want you to think about it like this. So if you are putting that, kind of triangular part there, I want you to push that comb right against the back of the head, right in line with the nose. So that would be about right here. I hope all you can see that. Okay. So not pushing down onto the nape, basically right at the nape starts. Now you can see this is the point where that leaves the head. So this right here, that should be the top of your triangle. Makes sense, right? That's where a lot of things are going to be changing. That's usually where like your bob is going to start, unless you're doing a low bob, but it's also going to affect head shape. Finding the apex, same basic principle. On the top of the head, where the head starts to change, that's your apex right there. So when you want to do your horizontal lines going across, you're going to start right at that point. So you can literally just put your comb right there, say, okay, it comes off right there. So now I need to take my comb, put it right there. Now I have found the exact apex point, and then, just drop it. I usually drop it like right there behind the ear. Some people vary a little bit. Some people like to bring it closer to the ear. Everybody's got their own thing. In the end, it's how the haircut comes out. You're going to see people cut dry the whole time, or cut wet the whole time, or a whole lot of wet and a very little dry, or a whole lot of dry and very little wet. It doesn't matter. It is sculpting, and it is what the end result is, and what makes the person walk out feeling like $1,000,000. One thing I need to focus on that a lot of you salon up and comers need to focus with, because this is something I have a huge problem with. Right now, I'm experimenting with cutting aids. So I like to use the cream. Cream is amazing, but I tend to use a ton of it. And the problem is, especially with fine hair, it gets this very goopy, oily thing once the hair starts to dry. So you literally have to go through and rewash. You might try like a moisture milk, or even an Apui moisture mist, or even just water. As your timing gets better, you're going to need less and less of a cutting aid and more of just, water, maybe a touch of oil for slip. And outside of that, don't even worry about it. One other fun little interesting tidbit that I learned. So we'll get into holding your shears, whatever you want to call them, in different positions. But so when you have your section of hair, let's grab that there. So when you have your section of hair, we are taught, let's try grabbing it this way. Alright, let's twist it so you can see what's going on. Can you twist it? No. Alright, let's turn sideways. There we go. Alright. Hope everybody... Alright, let's try this way. Right there. Okay. So when you're taught to put maximum tension. Now, that looks great, right? And if you cut it great, it'll be right. Now, the problem is, and this is something I can feel already, and it'll improve a little bit as you build that muscle tone, but you actually have a gap here, a gap here, a gap here, and a gap here. So no matter how hard you push those fingers together, see if I can get this to do this. No matter how much you push those fingers together, the first pieces that are going to start to slip are those pieces that, just, they don't have as much grip. So those pieces here are just going to fly out versus pieces that you have a nice hard grip on. So little tiny piece out, little tiny piece. Hard grip, so, and especially with longer hair, it's much more prevalent, especially if you're taking thin slices. So, something I've seen a lot of people doing that seems to help me is when you hold just a little bit off-centered. Hope you can see that. Instead of holding directly, finger over finger, space that finger back just a little bit. That'll give you extra control. Or you can move it forward a little bit. Whatever gives you the extra control, just make sure to adapt your section angle accuracy to make sure you get that cut. And always, always, always follow your section angle. One problem I keep having a lot is, I'll get the back straight to where I have it and I'm happy with it. And then I'll go to, and I'll start cutting, and I'll realize like this side's here and this side's like up here somewhere. And I'm like, what the hell, I followed the guide all the way around, did everything I want to. Now, if it's thinner hair, it's not as much of a problem. I can refine real easy. But if she's got, I cut a young girl the other day, and she had this very, inch thick hair. I tried smooth ironing it, and it was still very coarse, very thick. It wasn't curly, it was a little wavy, but it should have straightened out more. And because of that, I had just the most difficult time. I had to do a lot of weight reduction in the ends just to make it sit evenly. And she had a ton of product in there, which, I mean, she was happy with it. She wasn't like throwing things at me. It's just, it can be difficult. So, you know, take some of these little tidbits in mind, because these are things that they weren't really showing me in beauty school that I think they can show you. I want to get more into round brushing here in the next few days, so, and a few other cool tips and tricks and all sorts of fun stuff. So I just want to say thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Matt Beck from Free Salon Education. I will put your link below, I promise, but just search Matt Beck Free Education or Free Salon Education. He will pop right up. Check into Sam Villa. Check into Paul Mitchell School, Las Vegas. And if you do, be sure and when you go to talk to the management or whatever, say, you know what? I heard there was a teacher named Katie, and she is absolutely amazing. And I think if you guys let her go, it is the worst mistake you have ever made as a school. Um, we had an amazing color teacher. I believe she goes as Miss Scissorhands on Instagram. Absolutely amazing colorist. She was my color honors teacher. You know, friend them on Instagram. Um, just hunt them down however you can, and give them your love. Give them the love that, say, hey, Adam sent me over here. I think it's K D as in dog, KD Hair Designs or Hair Studio, something like that. Um, you can go into some of my links. It's within the last 2 or 3 and find it. But yeah, just, man, live every minute, love every minute. Don't let all this get you down, because we're gonna be okay. I promise. As my friend Kelly Cardina says, shit. What can you do? It's gonna happen. You'll be alright. I promise. See you soon.